Hello. If I look a little rough, it's because I'm on my 10th day in a row with migraine and I'm a little fed up and not feeling well. So, this is all you're getting. But I still do my tarot every day, obviously, and I still want to do a video every day. So, here I am. So, let's go over the daily tarot. It's been an interesting day with tarot. Alright. First, the Whimsical Arcane Challenge. The word for the day is cleanse. I like to use my Epic Tarot for this one, and I drew the Six of Books. What's interesting about this card is that it comes up for me a lot in this deck. And I find that interesting. Books are equivalent to wands. So this would be similar to a Six of Wands. However, it has a completely different meaning. So, I've mentioned on here before that the Epic Tarot seems to be loosely based on the Rider-Waite-Smith system. Loosely. So, normally the Six of Wands has to do with more like victory. What surrounds that victory may vary depending on your reading, but it generally has to do more with like victory. This card, there's nothing about victory on it, obviously, right? In the Epic Tarot deck, I explained to you guys in another video that I always check the little white book for this deck until I learn it more because it doesn't have traditional meanings. So I look at the card myself first to see what I get from it. Obviously, I didn't get the traditional meaning from it. And then I go check the book to see what did they intend for the meaning to be and how does that fit with what I thought and all of that. So what the Six of Books is about is messages from the spirit world. When I think of it that way, then I can see the symbolism here. Like, this is like a veil. And this is a magical type creature behind the veil. Looks like a lamia, possibly. So once I knew what the meaning for this card was, the symbolism made complete sense to me. I see this as a veil now, with a magical creature behind it. So this is like representing the veil between worlds. Between the mundane world and the spiritual magical world. And she has a book to write down the message, is how I look at it. Because she's going to get a message from the spirit world. From this particular spirit, probably. Based on the imagery. Anyway, this card comes up for me a lot in this deck. So, it's about receiving it. Messages from the spirit world, but in addition, it's a reminder to listen, but not with your ears, and speak, but not with your voice, spiritually. It also is, well, I like one of the quotes in the description of it, so I'll tell you that. The way that I associated the word cleanse with this is we have to cleanse ourselves of like the negativity, the stress, the hectic pace of our mundane world in order to tune into the spiritual world to receive the messages. So that's how I associated cleanse with this. The quote from the little white book that I love, which is what you will get if you do this cleanse, is there are wonders beyond imagination. I thought that was kind of cool. Makes sense for the spiritual realm, right? Alright, that's the first one. Next, we have the May Elements Challenge. Today's question is, where do I need less earth energy? And I drew the Ace of Cups from my Mystic Dreamers Tarot. So to me, this means I need less earth energy when it comes to love. Both divine love and, romantic love. Because I tend to guard myself in both. And So I need to like more freely sort of give myself over to the divine love and the love with my husband and such, instead of being guarded. That's how I saw this. All right. Next, the major challenge. Today is based around the Hanged Man. Here's my Hanged Man from my Mystic Dreamers Tarot. And the question from the Hanged Man is, how can a practice of acceptance and surrender bring you closer to your highest good? I found this question very interesting because if you remember, what day was it? 2 days ago? Yes, 2 days ago. So today is the 12th. It was on the 10th that my daily draw was this card from the Enchanted Map Oracle, Rock Bottom. And if you remember, this card was about you cannot go on doing what you're doing. Things have to change. Also, you have to accept the fact that you're in this position and surrender to that before a way out will be shown. And then today, this is how does acceptance and surrender get you closer to your highest good. I thought that was rather interesting that that came up today. So, obviously, I feel like a practice of surrender and acceptance will help me get to my highest good. I was literally just told to do that 2 days ago, so I think this is like a reminder, like, hey, you still haven't done it. Do that. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, just in general, it helps to keep those things in mind, because sometimes you just need to give it over to the universe or to the divine. And, sometimes you're going to have to accept that maybe there's something you can't change, or something that you can't do that you want to do, or you can't have that you want to have. So it makes sense that this applies to life and helps you get to your highest good. Because most of the time, if there's something you want and you're unable to get it, like the universe is stopping you from getting it, there's a reason. It's because that thing that you want would not benefit your highest good. It would not help you get closer to your highest good. So, yeah, that's a time when surrender and acceptance would be helpful. Alright. Next, daily draws. So if you saw the video I put up yesterday, that's the Oracle Obsessed tag, then you know I am still trying to connect with this Oracle deck. So I decided to draw from it today. This is the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle. What I drew today is the card Oath. It looks like this. There's a lot of people that like this deck because there's some like more fantasy-esque tarot and oracle decks out there that show a lot of the female body, but not so much of the male. And this deck actually shows both. So like, as you can see, there's a shirtless man here. Equal opportunity. What this card is about, though, is it's talking about promises. So promises we make, that it's important that we keep them, and promises that are made to us. So if we have someone in our lives that doesn't keep their promises, then we need to let them go. It's not good for us to keep that person in our life. Also, this talks about that the most important promise you can make is to yourself. So it reminds you to promise to be kind, loving, honorable, what's the other word that my brain thought of? Gentle, and do no harm. So, when you make that promise, it's important to keep it, right? There you go. That's what that's about. Last, we have my daily journal exercise. Today, I drew the High Priestess. I like this card because it's very Egyptian. It makes me think of Isis because I see this symbol frequently on pictures of Isis over her head. There are hieroglyphics like all around her on the columns and pillars and the bottom and all of that. Also, right here, you're probably not going to be able to see, but that is an image. Let's see if I can get it to focus. That is an image of Anubis from Egyptian mythology. And I believe this one on this side is Ra. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm more familiar with Anubis than I am with Ra. Like, I know who Ra is, but like his imagery I'm not as familiar with. So there's a ton of Egyptian imagery on this card. There's an Ankh right up here. I do think this is Isis, because this is what I would see as a representation of Isis's wings that she's shown with a lot. Yeah. I like it. It's very Egyptian. Anyway, so the journal prompt for the High Priestess is basically, have you ever had like a crazy hunch, your intuition, that turned out to be true? I can't think of anything like really major or like really surprising or really crazy or something like that. I really can't. My intuition has guided me most of my life. But it's always, I would consider it more little things, like nothing really major that I would answer this question with. So, you know, like I use my intuition in my tarot readings. And so far, the readings I've done for people, what I've got feedback on is all very positive. It was spot on, you know, that sort of thing. So I think that's a confirmation that my intuition, my hunch was correct. But I can't think of a time that's like crazy or like, you know, really big or something. So I don't really have a good answer to this question. But I would like to hear about yours. If you ever had, you know, your intuition tell you something and it turned out to be true, or, you know, something kind of major. So let me know. Comments below. Alright. That is all for today. I appreciate you being with me. Thank you for understanding the fact that I'm not always going to be at my best. Chronic migraines are a bitch. So, yeah. My doctor's called in some medication that will hopefully break this cycle of migraines since I'm on the 10th day in a row. We'll see. I would love some positive energy if you would send some my way. Alright, I wish love and light to all of you. It is Friday, so I hope you have a wonderful weekend in addition. And I will see you tomorrow in my next video. Hopefully looking a bit more put together and not so rough. Goodbye.